Now I'm going to talk about the power of automation and collaboration. So you've already looked at ways of creating different streams of income, the most important part of which is that you are no longer locked into only having the option of trading your time or talent or skill for money. You're looking at ways of packaging it somehow or offering different products or services outside of your core function so that you might be able to do more with less time. And that really is the goal, right? And so the next step is to continue to expand your business through either automation or collaboration or both. So that again, what it is that you're doing actively in your business takes you less time. And so the benefit of this is that either you're going to free your time to be able to focus on doing the parts that you really love, because a lot of times if you're running a business, you might have started out doing something that you love, but in order to expand it, you have to do all of these other tasks that as a business owner, often you wear a lot of hats. But it would behoove you and benefit your business for you to be able to focus on what you do best. And so that is the benefit I'm talking about here. If you can automate or collaborate and bring in more revenue with less of your actual time, then you're able to focus on what you do best or what you love to do or other things that can help expand your business, or you can spend the extra time at the beach. We do that a lot. So it's really up to you. But either way, automation is a key here, because even if you're no longer, for instance, teaching only in person, if you're, for instance, a guitar instructor, and maybe you make an online course and you're able to sell it to people virtually. Well, that's great, but there is still time involved in the delivery process. And so if there are aspects of what you do that can be automated because they're easily duplicatable, or maybe there's a system that can help you automate it, then if you do that and you implement this automation in your business, then it further removes you from the process, frees your time to again work on other things. And so I'm going to give you just a few examples of different parts of your business and how it can be very different if you are automating versus not automating, just to start getting the ideas rolling of things you might be able to automate in your own business, depending on what market you're in. So one example is email response. So you receive a question or an inquiry of some sort during your normal business day, and you receive an email, and then you have to go in and read the email and answer it by hand. Now, of course, one option is you could hire someone to take care of your customer service. But even before that, instead of spending your money on hiring someone, you could create some form of automation, like through a frequently asked questions. So if you look at what questions people tend to ask and you answer them all and you put them out on your website, then not only can people poke around and try to find the answers to the questions they're looking for before they contact you, but if they contact you and you know that it's something that's out there, you can send them a link to it instead of having to respond directly. So another way that you can automate is if you do any form of email marketing. There are a lot of people out there that still do it by hand, where you go and you send an email to the people that you have on your email list, and you're literally pasting in all of the emails yourself, and there's no way to track who opens it. So we highly recommend using some form of program that is designed for email. And it's a wonderful thing because you can see who's opening it, you can see that it is effective or not. If people want to unsubscribe, they can, and you don't have to deal with that in person. You can see who's opening it. You can schedule something ahead of time, and it simplifies your life. And there are programs out there that have free versions if you don't have a huge list, so it doesn't even have to cost you anything. And a lot of them are very user-friendly, like MailChimp, for example, that anyone can figure out how to use, and it will save you a lot of time. So another aspect of business, if you have a physical product of some sort, is you actually have to deal with when you receive an order, you have to send out the order. And so a lot of business people are still packaging and mailing it themselves. So there are ways around this. If you start to get to the point where it's taking up a lot of your time, there are different ways to sell products that you don't have to actually touch the product. There are drop shippers, there are fulfillment centers. Of course, you could hire someone to deal with that. And even if you're still going to package it yourself, you don't necessarily have to drive to the post office, because you can sign up for an account and they will pick up from your doorstep. So all of those things are ways that you can limit the amount of time that it takes for you to fulfill the orders that you receive. Same thing goes for online orders. A lot of times people receive an order and they receive an email, and then they actually have to personally send an email back to the person that ordered it and either attach it or send them a link somehow. So again, there's ways of automating this. You can use an email program so that when they place the order, it automatically puts their email address into the system, which triggers them to receive an email that has the embedded link to where they can download the product. So then you don't have to be involved at all in that process. And there's a lot of websites out there where you can actually put your documents in a secure place, whether it's a video or an audio program or a PDF like a book, and you can automate the whole process so you don't have to be involved. So another thing that you can do to automate is if you take appointments of any sort. So if you are trading your time for dollars with an appointment like a life coach or a counselor or a consultant, then one way that you can help automate that is your appointments. So a lot of people that we've worked with, a lot of coaches that we know, they still answer the phone and book appointments themselves. And so there's a couple downsides on that. If part of what you are doing as your service is talking to people, if you answer the phone to make an appointment, a lot of times they're just going to start to spill the beans right there on the phone. So you get locked into this longer conversation that you have to try to end, that you're not being paid for. And so answering it yourself and booking it yourself over the phone is not an effective strategy. Sometimes people ask for people to submit an email requesting it, but it's still, you have to go in, you have to look at your calendar yourself, you have to respond to them directly, and it takes a lot of your time. And so there's several ways that you can deal with appointments. One is to have a virtual assistant of some sort that answers the phone or the emails and books it for you. There are also programs out there that you can embed into your website, or you can use their website. One example, and not because we're endorsing it, because it's a simple example, it's called Appointee. And you use their platform and you put in your own calendar and your schedule and what your options are, and people can go in and book the appointment themselves. And so all you have to do is update your calendar if you have an appointment that for some reason you make on your own and it reflects live. Then you can go in and you can look at all of the people in your schedule, and the system sometimes, depending on what program you use, can even send you and the person that you have the appointment with a reminder email with all of the information that they need for your appointment. So that would make a huge difference if you added that to your business. So now I'm going to move on to collaboration. So especially if you have different ways of creating revenue and products that you can offer, and you have things automated, collaborating is like that next level. So we really like to look at collaboration in 3 different levels. And the first and most basic way of looking at it is a referral partner. And so the concept of a referral partner that you could collaborate with is another business or person that already has access to the clients or customers that you would want. So it doesn't have to be in the same industry. It just has to be something that your people, your tribe would want. And we've talked about this in our other courses. But just the basics of it is thinking, what do my clients use? What businesses do they do business with? And this can be in person or online. And then in what way could I participate with those businesses, either directly or indirectly, in order to get access to these people? So you can actually work with them directly. You can approach the owner, some form of cross promotion or collaboration, but you can also just participate. So for instance, if your clients tend to go to a certain workshop, you can attend that workshop. If your clients participate in a certain blog online, you can participate in that blog. So a referral partner can be direct or indirect. Either way, it's a way of accessing your clients and customers. And so a joint venture partner is taking it to another level. It's more advanced. You're taking someone who works with a similar market and in some way collaborating directly. Maybe where you're both working on a program together, maybe you're actually partnering on something. And in both of those cases, you're both trying to bring in clients. You're both, spreading the word, like you're promoting them to your people, they're promoting you to theirs. And you're doing something that's going to bring value to both. Now, a more simple way of doing something similar is with an affiliate. Now, affiliates are people whose expertise is marketing. And so if they like your product or service and feel that they could sell it, they'll do marketing on their own to sell your product or service. And then in return, they receive a percentage of whatever sales you receive because they sent the people to you. And so one website that is popular that people use as affiliates is called ClickBank, but there are many others out there. So if you have something that is a physical product that would be easy to set up automation for shipping, or if you have a digital product of some sort, those are great things to set up through affiliate programs. And you might need to do a little bit of research depending on what industry you're in. But the reason why you'd want to use affiliates is that you can reach more people with less time. You actually have somebody out there selling it for you. So I'm going to give you an example. If you needed to bring in $2,000 a month, and in order to do that, you had to sell 100 of your product at $20 each. You can put all the time and effort into going out and selling 100 products one way or another at $20 each. Bring in $2,000 yourself. Now, on the other hand, if you had affiliates, if you had 10 affiliates and they each sold only 5 a week, that would bring you the same $2,000. Now, if you start to get technical and you have to pay them a percentage, even if they got 50%, you'd still get $1,000. But if you got $1,000 a week from the affiliates and you still went out there and you sold your own 100 that you were doing before, now you're bringing in $3,000 a week. So do you see how this works? It's a matter of it's almost like having more of you out there. It's spreading yourself out in a way that you can't do on your own. So I hope that these insights and ideas about automation and collaboration have started to expand your mind for ways that you might be able to expand your own business.